Hello everyone, my name is Tara. Welcome to my channel, and I'm going to be sharing some information around taking risk and why it is so important to take risk and step out of our comfort zone. Now, the most important part to this is to listen to your intuition. Now, we won't grow and we won't learn and we won't achieve what we want and get what we want out of life if we don't challenge ourselves, if we don't step out of our comfort zone, if we don't overthink things, and if we don't hold ourselves back. But we all do this. And I've done this my whole life, except I have taken risks, and I'm not afraid to take some risks. I'm not afraid to push myself, even if it is really uncomfortable and even if it really makes me very nervous. We need that. You need that. I need that. We all need it. We need to feel a little bit of that nervous energy to know that we're on the right track with expanding ourselves, with challenging ourselves. And when we challenge ourselves, when we push ourselves out of our comfort zone, then we learn more about ourselves. Then we are one step closer to what we want. We were one step closer to our manifestation. But we have to start pushing ourselves. We have to start challenging ourselves. And it could have to do with love. It could have to do with our career. It could have to do with finding our voice. It could have to do standing in our power. It could have to do with learning. It could have to do with moving. It could have to do with education. With all of it, we can challenge ourselves through anything. So what is holding you back? I truthfully feel that for a lot of us out there, there very well could be a lot holding us back, or maybe one thing. But whatever that is, if there's something that you're facing right now, and if there's something holding you back, what is it? First, identify what it is. What do you feel compelled to do? What do you feel inspired to do? And then move back from that. What is holding you back from achieving it, from stepping out of your comfort zone, from challenging yourself? If you feel a little bit nervous about it, that's a good thing. And I have taken risk my whole life. I am a big risk taker. Now, the problem with that is that I failed quite a lot through that process, and then I stopped taking risks because failure, it's not fun. But the thing is when I was taking risk, I was not honoring myself and I was not following my intuition, but I didn't know. I didn't have the tools and I didn't know how to work with my intuition. I was working through false programming. I was working through limited programming, limited self-worth, limited confidence, and trying to achieve something that I was not in alignment with. So when you are in alignment with yourself, when you are honoring yourself, when you are dropping into your intuition and feeling from your heart, feeling from your stomach, letting go of the mind and honoring who you are, not what other people want or what other people expect or what other people are pressuring you to do. And that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to honor ourselves. It takes a lot of courage to honor our future. It takes a lot of courage to honor what we feel right for us, what we want to do for ourselves. That is a whole learning process on its own. But first, if I was to give anyone advice or give anyone some suggestions out there, starting out, find out what feels right for you. And it may take time. It may take a year. It may take years. For me, it took years really to find myself and to honor my intuition and feel what it feels like to honor my intuition, what it feels like to listen to my intuition, what it feels like to follow my heart. And when I was not honoring it, I would feel gross, actually. I would feel heaviness in my stomach. I would feel limited. I would feel heavy. And those are all signals. We need to pay attention to our body. We need to pay attention to what our body is sending us as far as signals, as far as energetic weight or resistance. And if there's resistance in our mind or overthinking in our mind or our mind overriding our feelings, then we need to start to be aware of what is actually happening, the dialogue happening within our mind versus our heart. So it may take some time to feel what feels right. And if you have to take a pause in life, or if you have to maybe work a job that you don't like working for a while, just so that you can connect with yourself and that you can connect with what you feel right, or even in relationships, even if you have to take a time out and not date for a while to connect with who you are and what means the most for you with love, then that is the best way to go. It's better to do that than jumping into relationships or jumping into job careers or making decisions without knowing who you are and what is important for you, then you're going to keep making the same mistakes. And again, I'm speaking from experience. I've done this way too many times. And that's why this video is so important. And that's why this exercise is so important, so that you can feel your way through things and honor your intuition. And yes, there is going to be failure. There's going to be failure even when we are honoring our intuition. But the thing is we have to face failure. We have to face these moments to learn, to grow through. And if we're following our intuition, I firmly believe that even if we run into failure, we're meant to experience that. We're supposed to experience that. But if you're following your intuition, you're going to deal with it better. You're going to know how to work through it. And it might not be as severe as a failure as if you're not honoring your intuition. If you're not honoring your intuition, if you're following your guidance system from ego, trying to prove yourself, trying to prove to your parents, trying to prove to your peers, trying to show off, or trying to gain a name for yourself for superficial reasons or for external reasons, then there very well could be a greater chance of harder failure and harder recovery, because then when you recover from that, you may not find yourself through that situation and keep repeating the same mistakes. And don't get me wrong, mistakes are fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's how we learn. And that's sometimes how we figure it out as well. So this isn't a linear process. There's no right and wrong and easy way out of this. But in my experience, and now doing the work that I do, especially following and honoring and feeling into my intuition, and now I know I am so in alignment with my intuition. I know exactly when to say no. I know exactly when to say yes. And it doesn't mean that it is all easy. It doesn't mean that it's smooth, but it's getting easier. It's getting better. It definitely is. It's a work in progress. So the takeaway from this is to take your time if you need it. Honor your intuition. And if you don't know what it feels like to feel your intuition, just feel your heart. Feel what feels right for you. Feel what is guiding you forward. And if you feel guided towards that, what is holding you back from moving forward? Maybe more planning. Maybe there needs to be more planning in place, which is totally fine. Maybe there just needs to be more time to understand. But if there are old conditioning and old patterns, if there's a voice in your mind saying, well, what if I'm not accepted? What if my friends aren't going to accept me this way? Or what if my parents aren't going to accept me this way? Or what if society isn't going to accept me this way? Or what if I fail? We have to fail. We have to fail. But if you're honoring yourself, you're meant to experience it. And your failure is going to be massive learning experiences. And you're still going to be on the same track in some way, shape, or form. Now, you may change your direction a little bit, but at least you're aiming for your destiny. At least you're aiming and being true for who you are and what you're meant to do, what you are meant to experience, what you are meant to give to the world as far as a business or your talents or your offerings, or be in a relationship that is in alignment with yourself, or friendships that are in alignment with you, or living in a location that you feel drawn towards. And you can have multiple experiences. We also have to be very open and flexible to our experiences. We can get easily very fixated on one thing. And if it doesn't work, then our whole life shatters and then we fall into a pit of despair, and it can't be that way. We have to look at everything as a learning experience, and that will teach us more about who we are. That will teach us more about our confidence, about what works, what doesn't work. That will challenge us. That will allow us to step into our power. That will allow us to be more confident with ourselves. That will allow us to be more discerning. Only good things will come from it, but we need to push ourselves and we need to challenge ourselves, and we have to step out of our comfort zone. Because that is where greatness lies. That is where your future lies. That is where the future that you want lies. So I hope this video offered some inspiration, a bit of a pep talk, some guidance, all of the above. I will see you next time, and take care.